Welcome to the Waterfowl East podcast.
Thank you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, real good to be here. We got
Stephen McGuire from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
And Jim Pickunka from Connecticut.
Matthew Wilson from Bedell, New Brunswick.
Nice to meet you, Matthew.
Thanks for coming on, boys. Good to have you.
That was our pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah. Good to have you here.
What a wonderful experience it's been.
Yeah, Unbelievable.
Welcome to Canada.
Eh?
Two things you realize that you say a lot around people that never say it. One, for sure, is A. And the other one is fuck.
Yep.
We say that a lot here.
One I never hear, one I hear all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably do.
I do.
Yeah, maybe you do too, Jim. I don't know. We say it a lot here, though.
Yep.
We do say A. We say A all the time, and I never think about it again until I'm around people that never say it.
It's almost like you don't trust other people listening to your conversation, eh?
Eh?
Right. Yeah. You should use it when you go home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. You just throw it in anywhere.
Instead of right, you just say eh.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah. So, boys, you've been here for 3 days.
3 days.
We did plan on going to the island, but Walt Vesey told us we couldn't come because we'd shoot too many birds over there, and he's protecting his birds, and that's fine. If he wants to protect his birds, then that's fine. You know what? We'll just shoot birds here, won't we, boys?
You got better birds here anyway.
Yeah,
So.
that's true, Walter.
And
Yep.
you got smarter ones too.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, no question.
No question about it.
Obviously.
And with Matt's calling instead of Walt's, it just works out better here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, I think it worked out better for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's great to have you up, boys. Nice for Jim. I know you've been here, but it's been a while, huh?
Yeah, close to 10 years, I'd say.
God, man, time gets away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sure
it would have
does.
been because Riley was just young then. She
Yeah.
probably would have been a 2-year-old dog at the time, 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah, well, your daughter was still being fed with a spoon by you in a high chair.
Yeah, there you go.
Now she's feeding you in a high chair with a spoon, so I guess it's evolution.
Yeah, she says she's going to look after me. Says she's never moving out. She's living here forever with me.
You know,
That'd be a good
that's
thing
a good
for you,
thing
Matt.
for both of you.
I guess so, yeah.
Absolutely.
The way our economy's going, that's probably a real thing, whether she wants it to be here or not.
Unfortunately, I think that's true.
Yeah. So you've been up here, experienced this area. Steve?
My first time.
Yeah.
I was real looking forward to it, and it was very exciting when I got invited to come, and I appreciate the invite. And it's kind of like Christmas. The anticipation is part of it, and I get to spend some great quality time with two great people. Matt, who I know through Jim from training dogs, and Jim that I've known for several years, through dogs. That's become a great friend. And I was very excited to come. And I think when you're a hunter and you get invited to a place that you've never been before, it's exciting just for that, to learn new things. And I was really excited to see and listen to Matt's calling, being a champion caller. And one of the things I love about hunting, one of the biggest things I love about hunting is dog work. And I knew I would see some of that, and I did. And I got to experience a new area, see how Matt called in some geese that I know I couldn't have called in, and observed Jim Pickunka as one of the most greatest marksmen I've ever seen in my life. So I think Matt had a box of shells, 25 with pellets and the other 25 with no pellets, and we switched off from time to time. But it was a great 3 days. We certainly had 3 different days of weather.
Yeah.
And hunting experience. The first day we drove up in a snowstorm, and we hunted in a snowstorm the first morning. And we had ducks flying in first thing and geese coming in, and we got our limit. It was a wonderful shoot to start out with. The next day was cold and very windy.
Okay.
And the birds weren't very cooperative, but it was exciting to watch Matt call the birds that sometimes circled us 6, 7, 8 times. And maybe a couple would land and some would take off, but it was really exciting to listen to you call. And the third day today was warmer with no wind, and it was a lot easier to sit in the blind for several hours than it was yesterday, that's for sure. But same thing, it was exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up because, again, day one, big snowstorm. Day two, it was cold, windy.
And
Very
heavy winds.
windy.
Heavy wind. Like, it must have been blowing at least 30, and we suffered.
We
for
did.
sure. It was cold. We stuck it out. What time did we leave? Noon?
Right around noon, maybe.
Yeah, I think we wrapped up a little after 11 by the time we picked up. It
Yeah.
was afternoon.
And lugged all our stuff in with a sled. This is day two of lugging our stuff into the field in a sled. And it was several hundred yards this time because day one, we were in a spot that we've hunted before and done well, and it's sort of in the middle of the field, and the birds either way have to kind of pass by you, and we did well there. But we wanted to be over towards the woods where there was more crop damage and where the birds sort of wanted to be. They were in two spots in the field. So we had to walk at least another couple hundred yards to get over there with the sled.
Yeah.
And it was
Downhill.
rugged. Downhill, yeah. And then,
Going down wasn't quite so bad.
No.
Coming back out at the end of the day.
And there was a good 5 or 6 inches of snow to tread through. So
it was rugged for sure. Yesterday was probably the most rugged day I've had with wind and cold and,
Yeah.
And bad company.
yeah,
and bad company, yeah. But I'll take that bad company any day.
yeah, we had plenty of laughs, even though we were freezing.
Yeah, well, and I mean, we've talked about it on this podcast a fair amount, and I don't think it's ever going to get old, the fact that there has to be more to waterfowl hunting, right? So as you go on throughout your journey as a hunter in general, but as a waterfowl hunter, like you go through seasons, literally and figuratively, right?
Yes.
So for you to come here, well, you've hunted Canada geese before, Steve, and so have
At
you,
all. Yes.
right?
Yep.
And I mean, you're hunting the same Canada geese. These geese are going to maybe remember you
I hope so.
in a month when they get down to where you are.
I'll
You
be
"Hey,
welcoming them.
yeah, hey, shit, I remember that guy. Yeah, yeah. So when you think about it, like coming up here and just experiencing a new place,
Yeah.
just that
It's
alone.
exciting.
Right. It's very different.
exciting.
So I wanted to ask you, since this is your first time, like, what did you think of this area? Because it is very unique to us.
Oh, it's an awesome area. I mean, the farms are unbelievable, and the river, seeing the birds. The birds have obviously been educated some, and they're not just dumping into the spread. So it's a lot more work, obviously, for you to call them in. But it was beautiful and exciting at the same time. That morning there. First morning, I think it was, we had 50 turkeys come out
Yeah.
as the ducks were dumping in and the geese were dumping in, and it was like a whole
Little bird haven down there.
yeah, it was like a whole picture show. We had it all.
Yeah. I said that morning, I said, we'll probably see some turkeys tomorrow. They've been pretty steady coming out of the woods and running around this cornfield. And sure enough, all of a sudden there they come, all at once. It wasn't like 4 or 5 turkeys and then, a bunch more and a bunch more. It was like 50, bang, they come out of the woods.
Heading
They're
right
there.
toward us. Yes,
Yep. Almost had to defend ourselves.
almost. Yeah, they were big ones.
And, the thing about that is for you guys, like you've always had turkeys. But 10 years ago when you were here, like you wouldn't have saw 50 turkeys in the field here.
No,
Did we
no,
see
no.
any turkeys?
No.
No.
Not at all. I'd see some in Maine coming up through Maine,
Right.
but not into Canada.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing for us to see 100 turkeys a day now scouting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there you go in that timeline. And I'm glad we brought that up. Like we wouldn't have seen turkeys like that here. Now it's just like, oh, there's 50 turkeys,
I think
Yeah.
our birds might have moved north for the uneducated hunters up here.
No question. Yeah.
They figured we were coming. We couldn't hit them anyway, so they had nothing to worry about.
Well, they're running away from
Yeah,
something.
because our population declined quite a bit
Yeah.
recently.
yeah. No, ours did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's been some banded ones hit or shot over here, and they were banded in Maine.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, they never trap in transit here. They just came. So like in the last 10 years, they've decided that we're just going to make a run for it.
It's a perfect environment for them, right? All the farms.
And they're spreading out, too. Like, we've really done a good job at sort of farming how we do our season. Like, you have to put in for tags and stuff like that. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that definitely helps the population raise up. So hopefully someday you'll be able to have just open tags and possibly even multiple bird season.
I think so. The zones along the border here are thick, and they've kind of started to spread out towards the center of the province and up north as well. So the more of that they do, and if we're not over hunting them, the more zones we can open up and the more people can experience it. Because right now, I mean, like, for instance, if you're from Miramichi, well, you're clear on the other side of the province on the coast. Like, you're not from this area. So, people may or may not put in for a turkey tag, right? They're like, shit, I don't know anybody over there. Or I don't know any landowners. Or if I put in, how am I going to hunt over there? And I don't really know anybody. But as they spread out, we'll get more localized turkey hunters. I know we will. And people will learn to love it like you guys do.
It's exciting.
I mean, you and I hunted together, Jim. And I talk about that hunt all the time, just like we were talking about earlier. But my brother's hunt this spring was like textbook. The bird was on the branch. He was spinning around in circles, gobbling. We had a couple hens fly down out of the roost, land out in front of us in the field by the decoys. When he jumped off the limb, he ran clear across the field, right in the decoys. Scott just up, bang, shot him. I'm like, doesn't
get any better than that.
Doesn't get any better.
No. And it doesn't happen that often either.
That's right.
Yeah, no. But you never forget those moments, that's for sure.
That's right.
That's good that you got to share it with your brother. That's awesome. I did the same experience with my brother, so it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to have it go textbook like that doesn't usually happen.
No. Well, that's what I said to Scott. I'm like, I've been turkey hunting a fair amount, like in Maine and down with you and Ontario, and I don't think I've ever had a turkey hunt go like that.
No, it's usually work.
Yeah.
So I think a
Go
good
ahead,
reason.
Jim.
I think a good reason why your turkeys have filled in this area here is because of all the grain crops and stuff that you have. Possibly also because your winters could be getting milder now, and you've got the feed for it to cover. The winters aren't as severe. Even some areas that have severe winters still have a good turkey population, but it could be also not as many predators around here that are eating the eggs and the young hatchlings and stuff like that.
Oh man, you want to see the poults here in the springtime, and even later in the season, like. They must have had some late nests because there was poults around in like August.
Yeah, they'll breed more than once, right, Jim?
Right.
I know that for a fact.
Really?
Or if a nest doesn't take, or all of a sudden the poults get taken out at a very young age, they'll rebreed again.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's great for the turkey population for
sure.
Well,
we don't, like, this never happens, right? I mean, how often do you have a brand new season for an animal in your state or province? Like, ever?
No.
Not generally, unless it's something that's introduced, and these weren't introduced, they just came, right? But for us, everybody here is very green, and there's very few people that know much about turkey biology, but things like that, like, we don't know. We're on our group message talking about it there, and we'll look stuff up, but we don't know. Like, that we would just assume that, if we saw poults in like August, geez, that's weird.
Yeah, size of pigeons.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like tons of them. You should see them. It's unreal. We're going to be laden down with birds, which is great because they are so much fun.
So much fun to hunt.
Oh.
Yeah, they're addicting.
Yeah. Now, if we could hunt them here in the fall, it's one of those things. Like, I like to hunt bears, but I don't do it in the fall.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm a waterfowl hunter.
I don't hunt turkeys in the fall either.
Yeah. It's tough, huh?
It's too many other things to chase.
Yeah, well, it's a different experience. A lot of guys, the way they hunt it is they find a flock and they run into the flock and bust them up.
Right.
And they go in all different directions. And then they start to call to regroup again. And that's when they sit down maybe at the base of a tree, start letting out some kiki calls. Rather than yelping and gobbling and clucking like they do in the spring, they do a lot of kiki calls and end up, that's how they regroup, get back into the flock that they were in. A lot of times you get to select a bird that way too. Our fall season down our way allows you to shoot either a hen or a tom. So you're not just looking for a beard. Not that we like shooting the hens. I'd rather shoot a tom no matter what. But the
option's there.
Yeah, the option's there if you want it.
Massachusetts has the same
Is that right?
same laws. Yeah,
Right.
only a gobbler in the spring. You know, that's mating season, so it was like shooting a buck during the rut,
Yeah.
right? And then in the fall, you can shoot either a hen or a tom. But I won't shoot a hen. I'll shoot a tom if I actually go turkey hunting, which I really don't.
Yeah.
But
Not in the
a
fall.
lot of times in the fall, though, the birds are they're separated. The toms are separated from the young of the
Right.
are separated, and they'll stay in their bachelor groups, and then all the little hens and possibly jakes with small little beards that are just barely protruding, so you don't really even see the beards in the fall time. But they will grow during the winter a little bit. But you can shoot, either sex in the fall time.
So we're just that much farther behind you guys, but we will model off of, what the states that are close to us do. I'm sure in the future, right? And that's kind of what we're doing now, and the reason why we have a draw. And I honestly, at first, I thought there'd be a lot more people that would put in, but there wasn't. And I think that's because it's not province-wide. It's just a few zones along the border here and down towards southwestern
Right.
part, because that's where the birds are. And I get it. If you weren't from here, maybe you'd just be like, I'm going to wait. I don't know any place or know anybody over there. So
So have you been out? You've obviously been out with your brother. Have you drawn a tag yourself?
yeah, I got a
Yeah.
turkey. Yeah, I've been
Okay.
out multiple times here, and
When you go out, do you see a lot of other hunters?
no, because we normally just ask permission, and if you know that there's somebody hunting that land, you don't go around. But certainly around this area, there's people hunting. We don't see them, but I know they're around. Yeah.
What does your providence require as far as being able to go in and hunt property? Do they need written permission?
Yeah. It's just any farmland now is with written permission.
Okay.
Some form of written permission, like you got to have a text message or something, right?
On private land, right?
Yeah. Our crown land is all woods ground and mostly chopped up, right? It's not.
Right.
We don't have real major parcels of crown that's huntable like you guys would state land.
Okay.
That one piece that we went to when I was turkey hunting with you, I don't know how many I feel like it was like thousands of acres of state land.
Yeah, we have some pretty good sections in our area. There's one place that's almost 12,000 acres.
Right. Of state land
Of
for
state, yep,
for
public
people.
land. Public
Yeah.
land that anybody can go hunt on.
Yeah. It's crazy.
We have quite a bit too for a small area.
Do you?
Yes. Yep. And they do a good job managing it.
So for you in your area, Steve, you're mostly hunting out on the saltwater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for waterfowl, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's where most everybody is. There much agriculture there?
No, not anymore.
Not in Mass, huh?
Very, very well, in the area that I'm in, there's very little.
Is that right?
Yeah. In Mass in general, there's still some up in the western part of the state or up in the Berkshires and what have you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you're from, though, Steve, you have a little bit of cranberry bogs.
We do have some cranberry
Yeah.
bogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the major problem in the area that I live is that it's gotten built up with houses so much that it's hard to get a legal area to hunt near the cranberry bogs. When I was a kid, I used to walk down and shoot ducks at the cranberry bogs all the time. But now there's housing developments, and it's eliminated a vast majority of the hunting, both for inland and for on the water and on the ocean and the bays.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I would agree with you. You don't even have to take that back. That part of things is unfortunate. It's the fact that we're kind of overtaking nature in places where people can go and do those types of activities, places that
Right.
you went as a kid. I remember certainly when I was guiding in Ottawa, like we talked about this field down the road here, and Jim, you said, oh, if this was home, this would be full of multi-million-dollar homes.
Right.
And in Ontario, it was the same thing. Like they would buy farmland and just be like, yeah, we'll pay the back taxes to build something here. But here, that
Doesn't happen.
No.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, they're actually clearing more land and resurrecting old farms because they want more ground, right?
When I was a kid growing up on Cape Cod, not too far from where I live now, I used to walk out of my house with my shotgun and my dog, and within walking distance I could shoot pheasants. There was a great population of quail, partridge.
Quail, really?
Well, there was a lot of quail. And ducks. And you could hunt vast areas. And now all those areas are either built up or golf courses,
Really?
where it's actually eliminated all of it.
Wow. That's crazy.
The other thing that's kicking in now, too, in a lot of the farmland in Connecticut is they're being taken over by solar farms.
Right.
Huge. I mean, for Connecticut, a 300-acre field is huge.
That's a big field here, too.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
a big field, and it's completely solar panels now.
Wow.
In a lot of those types of areas. So the farmers in our area are getting, I don't want to say they're getting pushed out, but they're getting older, and they want to sell off their property and make as much money off it as they can for their family.
Sure.
And our population grows, and we need the electricity, and hopefully for a cheaper price. So they end up selling it off to the solar panels, thinking it's going to be green energy. Who knows what the future's going to bring for that type of stuff?
Totally. You're starting to see a lot more of it here, too.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
We have it out in the ocean, the wind farms. It's caused quite a problem.
Is that right?
Oh, yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Blades are falling off, broken up. It's influencing the balance of nature, for sure.
That's a good way to put it. I don't know how it couldn't, actually.
No, me neither.
A lot of people claim that just the noise from the windmill are throwing off the sound signals and things like that for whales, and we've had a lot of die off from whales and stuff recently.
As we have, and
How it can prove, whether it can be proven or not, I don't know. But
it's from the when they're putting in the bases of the windmills, and they're pounding, and they say that it travels great distances,
underwater.
and that's underwater, and that's what's disturbing the mammals, the whales, and the ecoculture of the ocean.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how it couldn't.
No.
If it wasn't there before and then we're going to do a whole bunch of work, anything could change. I mean, if we're talking about things that change migrations of both whales and
Right.
birds and anything, I mean, we have a big wind farm down here in Tantramar, and before that there was a large, I guess it was like a radio station. There was wires and cables going everywhere in the middle of a big marshland. But any of that stuff is going to throw nature off, for sure.
Certainly going to have an effect, not a positive one.
Well, and I mean, in a positive way, you look at this area. We talked about the turkeys. 10 years ago, they weren't here. Well, 10 years ago, we didn't have we had geese then, but we didn't have geese then like we do now. Our population is growing, and a big part of that is the cereal grains like corn. And, things fluctuate on what they grow in the markets and things like that around here.
Right.
The climate's probably got a big influence on that also, because they're not migrating south as far as they need to.
Yeah.
Or used to, I should say.
Well, when I interviewed the biologists, Scott Gilliland and Ted Barney and Ryan Johnstone, even this spring, that's one of the things I asked them is, will a bird migrate if it has food and water and the temperature is okay? And I guess it came down to some of them are going to migrate just because that's what they do, and others will definitely stay as long as they can. And if they have feed there and there's not a lot of snow, why would they go?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, we see this in other states where people are making big impoundments with flooded corn and, how could that not change the migration?
Right.
And the type of farming that's changed or evolved over the years.
Mm-hmm.
From what I read anyway, they're putting more effort into trying to preserve parts of the farm for wildlife. And if that's true, then that's a great thing, as opposed to farming every square inch of farm that they have for profit, which you don't blame them, but there's no room for wildlife.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing out west, especially like Western Canada. Any of those marshlands out there, they're trying to save that pothole region. I mean, for those guys, like you say, if they're going to farm around it, I mean, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
When they could just drain it and tile it and then farm it and just go straight and not have to go around it.
Right.
And I mean, you start taking out ground like that, well, all of a sudden there's hundreds of acres of potholes that if you have a wet year are going to be full of water and full of nesting ducks.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Once you lose that habitat, it's generally doesn't come back, right?
Exactly. Unfortunately, you're right.
And I mean, I definitely noticed in our flyway this year, I mean, we've shot a third of the ducks so far that we shot last year.
That's what you were saying.
And you're a good part through the season already too. Here we are coming up almost on December.
Yep.
And and you haven't shot even a third of what you usually shoot. So it's either they haven't migrated down yet due to the weather, or because it was dry this year. It was a very dry summer.
Super dry,
You know,
and
everywhere.
usually on this part of the world, all the way down through our flyway, it's pretty wet.
Right.
It's pretty boggy up here. Water levels don't tend to fluctuate too much because we've got some really good aquifers, and that keep our ponds full, and we don't necessarily totally depend on rain like the western provinces or western states, right? Out in the prairies. But it was super dry this year. A lot of people's wells were going dry, and I wondered if we would see less waterfowl in a way, but I just thought, it's always pretty good over here. But certainly on the duck level, I'd be interested to see as we go along, like whether you guys south of me get into them or not. Because we've seen them. Like, I mean, look at the first day you guys were here. We saw a pretty good flock of ducks that day.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not like I'm seeing clouds and clouds of ducks.
No.
And it's normally in October we have 3 or 4 hunts where we bang out a limit of ducks. We're shooting 36 ducks. You're not long in 2 or 3 hunts jacking up to what we've killed in 2 months, right? So that's really saying something.
Yeah. For sure.
And it wasn't like we were in areas that didn't have ducks or shouldn't have ducks historically. They just
Weren't there.
weren't here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we just hunted 3 days, and we only had one day where we shot a couple of ducks.
Right.
And that was the morning of the
The
snow.
snowstorm.
Yeah.
Snowstorm. So
Right.
They
We saw a fair amount. Didn't necessarily get them or a chance at them,
right,
but
they were there
but we didn't even see any.
the next morning.
Or this morning, actually, as
Right.
far as flying while we were hunting.
No,
And we put in a lot of time today.
we sure did.
Oh man, and we certainly put it in yesterday too.
Right.
In that cold.
We held out yesterday and we put our time in today. Like, those are last year. I put a lot of days in that were late in the morning, but not as late as these last 2 days. And I mean, this happens every year, right? It starts to get late. You get a snow on the ground. The birds will act a little different. This morning was warmer.
All right.
There was a little bit of a frost even this morning.
Yep.
And I kind of thought to myself, you know what? If the sun doesn't come up, we're probably not going to see any birds. But the sun did come up.
Yeah.
And it was warm.
Yeah, it was definitely warm.
Yeah.
And today really boggled me. in the sense that I thought, okay, maybe they fed late last night, but from 10 to 11, that river should be steady. And it really wasn't.
No.
You know, it wasn't that they weren't there either. They just didn't fly.
Right. We drove by after our hunt, and there was birds just still loafing on the river. So whether or not, like you said, they fed late in the evening the day before and didn't need to get up, or because it was a nice hot, or not hot, but it was a warm sunny day, they just kind of hung out and loafed on the river.
Even the ones that flew over us several times, most of them didn't land.
Right. There was several flocks of birds that went out, flew around, and went back to the river.
Yeah, like they were just stretching their wings.
Yeah, so that was a sort of an omen today of the fact that they weren't struggling
No. Didn't seem like
to
it
survive
anyway.
today, yeah.
No.
Like literally when we left, there was a bunch of birds sitting on the rocks across the river from us, totally passed out
Yep.
in the sun.
Fat and happy.
Fat and happy, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
Now, tomorrow morning is going to be quite cold. If I had to guess, I would say that they're probably not going to be up right away. I would guess that, again, the sun's going to have to get up for them to come screaming out.
Like a 10 o'clock
Uh,
run, probably.
Right.
I'm
Maybe
thinking,
later.
yeah, but the problem is, you just never know.
Nope. That's what we were talking about earlier. Never know.
You don't know. Right now, it's a little unpredictable because it's still early in that season where they might feed later,
Right.
or they might blast right out of daylight.
Right.
You know, you say, let's go at noon, and you get there and the field's full, right?
Yeah. Hopefully be inundated at sunrise. Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're still cutting some of your fields in this area, so there could be an abundance of food. So they only come out for a very short time, and they can eat all they need to eat in a short amount of time. Whereas as the season starts to go on here, and they're not cutting any fresh fields, that food's been kind of eaten up a little bit, and they have to spend more time trying to find what they need.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, when they get to feeding once a day, it's about sustaining life. So we'll feed late. So this is how I think about it. We'll feed late, and then while we're digesting that food, that'll help keep us warm
Right.
through the night.
Right.
Okay? And if we feed late and heavy, that'll help us sustain through the cold.
Right.
Right?
Right.
In the early part of the morning.
Right.
Yeah. I never thought of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then once the sun comes up and we warm up a little bit, maybe we won't burn as much calories, right? If we're
Right.
just sitting there hunkered down, holding our body heat in, not really moving much, we're not burning as many calories. Once the sun comes up, warms us up, regulate our body temperature a little bit, then we'll fly out. Like you said earlier, the field will be a little more tacky. It'll be easier for them to grab a piece of chaff and pull on it and open up a spot to reach down and get some corn. So,
Yeah.
but then again, it's still so early in that. Like, you guys have literally shown up. There wasn't any snow on the ground until you guys got here.
Well,
Right.
you're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we came here just for that.
Yeah. So had we gone to the end of this week, we'll have them pegged, right, on what's going to go on here.
Right.
But to say, like, in the first few days, we might as well not go till the evening. They're still in the habit of doing what geese do, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, every day we've shot some in the morning.
Yes.
Always. I
I
mean,
had an opportunity to, right?
Yeah, that's when we've been hunting. So it's not totally instilled in them yet that we're going to sit all day. But today even was a pretty good showing. But we did see some birds, but they're definitely starting to get on that schedule. Like, by the end of the week, it's going to be to a point, if it stays the temperature it is, that it's going to be like, okay, you'd be safe to start probably going at 11 to set up for noon and hope that
Then hunt the afternoon. In the evening.
till dark. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And then as it goes on later, you could probably go a little later,
Right.
right? As it stays colder and the snow stays harder. And like you say, that there isn't fresh feed. It's all under the snow, things like that. Then they'll be more apt to stick around longer and wait till right before dark. That's what I think about it anyway. I think that when they get to that one a day and it's getting later and later, it's so they can feed late, create body temperature by digesting, and then help themselves survive through the night.
Right.
If they're going to stay.
And burn the least amount of calories after they fed.
While they're doing it. It's basically like going and throwing a bunch of logs on the fire before you go to bed.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, with all the scouting you do, I'm sure you got a pretty good grasp on what goes on. So
We try to pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we put a lot of miles on, as you guys have
You
seen.
sure do.
You've lived. You've actually lived the life in full here the past few days.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but
Yep, it's
yeah.
good to get the full spectrum, because
Yeah.
a lot of people that go out for a guided hunt, that's all they get. They just get the hunt.
Yeah.
And they don't see what else goes on behind the scenes between repacking the gear, checking the gear, making sure that it's in working condition. Propane tanks need to be filled for heaters and things like that. It keeps you guys busy. And then back out on the road to go look for tomorrow's hunt.
Yeah. There's not much downtime, is there?
There's very little,
Yeah.
very little.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting, right? The whole part of everything's exciting. The scouting is exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting anyway to see the birds
It's one of my favorite
and the
parts.
anticipation of the next day.
Yeah.
And the question as to what they're going to do. That's all part of the hunt, right? You do your best to try and guess or figure out what you think they might do, where they might be, what kind of spread you should use, where you should set the blind. I mean, the average person has no idea all the work that goes into that, and obviously you do a great job. And then the calling aspect itself, I've never been with anybody that calls as well as you, and has turned those birds. I know that if it was just me, there's no way that I could have turned those birds like you did.
Hear that, Emily, Roger? Just rewind that and listen to that again.
It was amazing, Emily. One time they circled 7, 8, 9 times, and they kept coming back. They wanted to land in the worst way.
I was no longer cold after that.
Matt was sweet talking, that's
Yep.
for sure.
Oh, yeah, he was. I think he
right.
was exhausted.
There was some swooning going
He
on.
started off cold before that, and he was heated up
Yeah,
afterwards.
he was sweating.
He was breathing some fire into that call.
Every layer of the onion was unzipped, for sure. Yeah.
It was exciting to watch, though. I got to tell you, it
man.
was really exciting.
When they were, so this flock came in high, and to me, they really didn't have any intention on slowing down.
Nope,
And
I agree.
so I started hitting them with the call and flagging, and they literally did, like the boys said they would go. They came down, they never flared, they just sort of veered off, and it was heavy wind, and they would go out of the field over the trees. And when she'd pick up on the calling, they would come back and circle it, like literally like 7, 8 times.
Oh, anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. 7, 8 times anyway.
Did we never did get one out of that flock, did we? They were damn close.
They were very, very close.
Yeah.
We did not want to do a flock type of shoot where we're just
Nope. Trying to get him to land. And
trying to get a Hail Mary shot out of it.
We always talk about wind, and like today we didn't have any. Yesterday we had a whole bunch. So like yesterday, if it would have been 10K less, that might have made it so that they had to make a little more progress
right.
towards the decoys, right?
Right.
And today, if we would have had that 10K that we didn't want yesterday onto today, I think it would have made things a little bit better too. There's always those days when we get done that I'm like, that was the perfect amount of wind.
Yeah.
That just helped them to make that decision, rather than when they're on shore having to fly around. They can hang in the wind for a minute when they're on shore and go, okay, yeah, no,
Well, it
that's
gives
I
them
like
a chance
that.
to get a really good look at it too. That way,
Yeah,
you know,
without-
the spread and everything.
Right, without having to circle and get behind your blind and make another trip around and
At no time did I think I saw any of the birds flare. None of the geese flared.
no.
They just didn't want to land.
That's
That's right.
exactly what I was about to mention. That although Matt is a phenomenal caller, it's the equipment that he uses, the way he sets everything up. He's really put in the time, the experience. he's got everything. He's got every little base covered.
Every attention to every little
Yep.
detail.
And because, like you said, not once did a bird flare.
No, never.
Yeah, it's this time of year too, like you're always thinking, right? Like we've talked about all these little parts and pieces. Nothing ever is done by chance. Everything has to, and that's part of the fun of it too, right?
Right.
But when you think about it, like you could go out a few times a year, take that trailer, throw a few decoys out, throw the blind out, and shoot some birds.
Without question, yep. Get lucky.
But today is day 50. Not counting the Sundays in that, which would put us at 40 some odd hunting days in the field. Like to do it that many days and be consistently successful, there's got to be more to it.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
agree.
And the strategy is the meat and potatoes of this. That's what makes it fun. You're always learning, right? And like dog training, as we know, this is full of golden nuggets,
Right.
right? Anybody could have some sort of golden nugget that on a certain type of day, they do this thing, with their call or their decoys that they're like, man, this has just been slaying them.
Yep.
You just never know. You just never know. We don't know if those birds have been here because we can't tell. We don't know if they've maybe been here for 3 weeks. Maybe they came over that hill today and we're like, there's Matt's decoys again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we'll stay away. This
I
year.
think we'll just go down the river. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No,
then
the
other times,
The other part about that, too, is the rapport that you keep with the farmers in the area to
Yeah.
get the permission for the properties and stuff. That's a huge part of being able to do all this.
no
You got to
question.
be able to move. You got to be able to go where the birds are. And you've got to have the reputation and the ability to deal with the hunters on a good positive level so you can go back year after year and continue a great rapport with these people.
Yeah, no question. And I mean, there's a lot of farms, like when we talked about it before, there's a lot of farms and a lot of farmers. And, I've said it multiple times, certainly in the past few weeks, like now that we're getting farther on into the season, like last year, the province made a law that it's on farmland, it's hunting with written permission only. So that's fine.
Right.
But what it's caused is a lot of phone calls.
Right.
So this right now is their busiest time of year. Obviously, as we
Right.
know, right? They're getting their crops in and whatever. They're flat out,
Right.
tapped out. So when their phone is ringing 20 times a day with people going, hey, can I hunt your field? Like it's starting to get old,
Right.
for them. And I
Never
get it.
thought of that. Yeah.
And I get it. And the reason that I know this is because they're telling me. I think it's great that they have to ask, but holy shit, my phone rings all the time. And to them, there really is less than zero benefit most times.
Right. You were saying that. Right.
I mean, really, like, sure, if it's bears or things like that getting in, and I mean, geese can. Don't get me wrong, geese can get into winter wheat and destroy it, and you do not want that. They are destructive. Don't get me wrong, but so there is some benefit. I should take that back, but overall, that many calls. I mean, my phone is. Look at the notifications right now. Like, there's no way you could keep up with it.
Right.
And I can
Yeah.
see how when you're digging and working long hours and things are breaking down and you're hoping that the crop comes in and it's good because it's your whole damn livelihood. You're rolling the dice on these things coming out of the ground and being good.
Right.
Like
And you trying to beat the weather.
Right.
and you're trying to beat the weather, yeah. And I mean, this year was a good year, but years in the past it hasn't been.
Right.
Like, I get it.
Yeah. The last thing they need is 100 phone calls of.
Yeah, and and don't get me wrong, they're all great guys. They really are. But I get it. I do. I mean, even myself sometimes, I'm in business, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm working with a dog. I get 4 or 5 phone calls. I'm like, okay, it's good that I have clients, or people wanting to be patrons of my business. But man, wish my phone would stop ringing.
Right.
But for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually, for me, that's business. For them, there's no benefit in that, really.
Right.
I mean, right now the main complaint is so many calls. They appreciate it. Like, they would rather have people calling than just going out on their land. Anybody. Right?
Exactly.
Like, I would rather somebody ask me if they could drive in my backyard rather than come home and find them there.
Right.
You know, that's their land. Doesn't matter that it's not in their yard. It's still their land. And a lot of times people just use it like it's their own when they don't own it, right? So it's nice that people are at least trying to do the right thing.
Are people probably calling the deer hunt too? Do you need the written permission for deer hunting or no?
Not in the woods, no.
Okay.
So that's sort of a gray area where you're crossing that land, but
Right.
you're not actually hunting on it. So, but the big thing is foreign material in the field. Like, a lot of the potato producers now don't want any foreign material coming in with the potatoes, right? And that can be anything. Golf balls is a major thing. You know, shotgun wads, hulls, anything like that. And plenty of times people think about the shells, the actual shells, while they're right beside the blind. But do they do a very good sweep and find as many wads as they can? Maybe not. I mean, and are they going to get them all when they come in on the line to go in the potato house? I mean, there's people there that are picking out foreign material as it's going down the line, and they hope that they get them all. But, you know, it is a risk for them. And again, most guys are really good. They don't mind people hunting on the ground.
Right.
They really don't. You know, it's a part of the heritage here, and there's people such as myself that have been hunting on these guys for, 20 years, longer,
You would really hope that a person that's hunting, period, whether it's on public or private land, picks up after themselves anyway, and does a real good job of leaving nothing.
Yeah. The other thing that really turns into a mess too is, like, that field down there today or yesterday is frozen. Like, we probably could have drove in that, but
Yeah.
he doesn't want ruts in his field. I totally get it.
Almost every farmer's like that, I think, Matt.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I would much rather drag my stuff in and have a yes from him than a no, because there's ruts all through my field, and there's no benefit to me, Matt. So I just not going to let anybody go again. It's fine.
As soon as you got a rut, the water starts to flow, becomes a much bigger rut.
Yep.
And that causes problems with the machinery.
Yeah, so a big thing is the roadways and stuff. People driving out through the roadways, and when it's muddy and tearing them up, and access here isn't closed off by gates. There's none of that stuff here. It's pretty free rolling.
I noticed that.
Yeah, right. So people can kind of come and go where they want to go, and they do, but they don't think about that aspect of, like, if this were my driveway and half the neighborhood had drove through it and rutted it all up, and then I came home, would I be upset about it? Probably.
Right.
Because I'm the one that's got to fix it, right? None of those people are going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm driving my machinery across it, and it's hard on equipment and stuff. I totally get it,
Right.
But and I have some ideas for solutions for them, but it's a thing for sure. The whole land access here in this area and province is a real thing. Like down where you are, Jim, like people around here would never make it down there. They'd probably get shot, right? Because you're not driving on people's ground without talking to them.
In our area, there's very, very limited access. Most places are posted.
Right.
They have signs right there, no trespassing. So
Yeah.
you're not allowed at all. Hard to get permission, definitely is. There's only a few people here and there. Being a dog trainer, I need access to a fair amount of areas, and I have knocked on a lot of doors and made some phone calls, and the answer is no most of the time.
Right.
So, and that's why a lot of the farm fields now that are being turned into the solar farms I'm just losing grounds. It's getting harder and harder to make a living doing the dog training down in southern New England area.
Yeah, and I think that because that hasn't been a real big thing here, people just don't even think about it. Like, if you only go a couple times a year, like, it wouldn't be a big deal if a farm said, we're not going to let people hunt there anymore this year. Oh, that's all right. We only go 3 times a year. We'll go someplace else.
Right.
Well, for people that hunt a lot,
Right.
we look at that and we take it personal, right? I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
somebody obviously did something to that farm or that farmer's ground that he's just like, this is ridiculous.
And in New England, unlike here, I think, obviously, we get a lot of, especially since COVID, I live on the Cape, which is a big vacation area. We got a huge influence of people from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And when they show up, they come there to apparently get away from their life that they were living prior, but they're only there for a short time, and it seems like they want to change everything to fit where they came from, which means posting land, complaining about we had a range that's been in the town since I was a little kid. People bought houses near the range, and all of a sudden they call and they're complaining of the loud noise.
Right.
So they closed the range. The same thing with hunting areas.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy. It's like buying a house next to an airport and complaining about the planes. It's the same thing, but unfortunately they get their way.
That's our culture.
It is.
In general.
And then some of the marshes that I used to hunt, they did the same thing. They built multi-billion-dollar mansions near the marsh. The marsh should be accessible to everybody, but they convinced the town for some reason to put up a big fence, a gate at the entrance, so you can't go hunt there anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's growing. That's everywhere. All the New England states are becoming like that.
Yeah, and those people that move in, they become board members on the town boards and stuff and committees and whatever, and then they go and they vote in new bylaws, and next thing you know, the regulations of the town don't allow hunting in certain swamps and stuff because they don't want to hear the people out there shooting, even it might be legal distance, or just the fact of tide flows and things like that.
Right.
You know, usually the laws give you the right to hunt below the high tide line, but these new bylaws and stuff are keeping people out.
Yeah, and that's not what they.
Right.
That's not what they want, so they try and get rid of it.
Right.
Then you talk to people that have grown up in the town, and they'll call me and they say, "Hey, were you out duck hunting the other morning? It was great to wake up and hear people shooting ducks again." Like it's almost a thing of the past, and that's sad.
That is sad. Yeah,
very
absolutely.
sad.
Yeah, because you can't get away from that.
No.
I've mentioned this multiple times on this podcast. It doesn't matter how you live your life now, what you choose to own as your diet.
Right.
Somewhere, at some point, in your pedigree, we'll say, because we're all dog people here,
Yeah.
somebody was a hunter and gatherer, and they were out there trapping beavers, getting on the beaver topic again, Chad.
Yep.
Trapping beavers, catching fish, and killing animals
That's the way we survived.
so that you could be here today. And the farther away we get from that, the worse things are going to get.
I agree with that.
We're just more and more and more dependent on other people to do things for us, and we can't forget where we came from. It's the same thing I talked about with those fur mitts. I'm like, the fur trade is gone right down the tubes. I used to love to trap. When I was trapping, like I'd be up all hours of the friggin' night out checking traps and skinning and stuff. Just loved it. But the fur trade has kind of gone down the tubes. Like we're, in a way, forgetting where we came from, and people would argue, well, we've made progress. We don't have to do that stuff anymore.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with it either. I don't either.
Right.
And maybe in their minds.
Yeah. I mean,
We can't forget where we came from.
No. And I mean, that's a good way to live. And I think, simple things like the power going out when your whole house is electric based. If you don't have a generator, or basically to get by, you need a generator.
Right.
Right? Unless you have some sort of gas appliance that you can go out and cook food on,
Or a wood stove, right?
Yeah. But those essential skills of being able to forage or catch fish or hunt for food, or, those are all still really good skills. Simple things like, wasn't that long ago that if you made a pair of wool socks and tried to sell them, people would look at you and be like, what the hell are you trying to sell those for? Every other door around here can make a pair of those. Every other person here can make a pair of those. Now you go to the farm market, they're like $35 or $40 because nobody knits or crochets anymore or sews or anything.
It's a convenience.
Yeah.
Or spins the wool.
Yeah, 100%. Like our culture has totally changed that way. We're so addicted to comfort, you know. Oh, I could do that, but take a lot of effort. Somebody could just consolidate that and let somebody else do it.
Even the people that I grew up with that I used to shellfish with, some of them, I'll ask them if they want to go shellfish, and they'll say, no, I'm good. I'm just going to call so-and-so and buy some shellfish from them.
Yeah.
They just don't want to put the effort in, or I don't know, they don't love the outdoors as much as I do. I'm not sure which one it is, but I always think to myself, well, that's kind of sad because, you know, you go out and it's really enjoyable, I think. You're outside in nature and you either digging oysters or quahogs or clams and you bring them home and you cook them up and share them with your family and friends and enjoy them. And it seems like that's fading away, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think if we're going to talk about progress in our culture, I mean, that could be measured in a lot of different ways. Like, is it actually progress? Are we just getting softer and more dependent on things, lazier in a way? You know, it used to be that we felt the need to belong. So, like, if you called, we're like, hey, you want to go shellfishing? Shit, yeah, I haven't seen you. We don't really, you know, there wasn't as many avenues to communicate.
Right.
So we had to communicate and gather in person. And I think as a whole, it made us better as people. We were more caring. We knew what was going on in depth. We were better communicators.
And we all choose our friends, and these right here, as we were sitting here, is we all share a common interest.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we don't golf, but we hunt.
And train dogs.
And train dogs, right? And that's a common interest, and it's great to talk about. It's great to look forward to. But that group of friends expands, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know you a few years ago.
That's right.
You know, and here I am now hunting with you in Canada.
Yeah.
Right? And that's awesome, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about it in the last podcast. So this is like a fraternity. You know, we still like to gather and spend time together. And people have been doing this. Men have been gathering to hunt for hundreds of years.
Yes.
You know, getting together. You know, we've got books that talk about the outfitting industry here in New Brunswick way back when, and how people used to come here and gather in these camps and go out and hunt together and things like that. And this time that we get to spend together, like no longer when you were younger, it'd just be like, hey, you want to go hunting here this afternoon? Yeah, let's go. Like you didn't have 100 different responsibilities and things that you'd have to plan around. And as you go on through your life, there's things that get in the way, right? But when you plan these trips and you get up here and like you guys are away from most of your responsibilities, right?
Right.
You set things up for yourself to be able to go and come and do this.
Right.
And you can relax and enjoy yourself. And these times are so important, you know?
Absolutely.
So good, you know, to be able to just relax and laugh and spend time in the blind. And like I said, when I was doing the one with the boys there, I'm like, this is where we're at our best.
Absolutely.
If we're going to be sitting shooting the shit, I mean, even yesterday when we're freezing our bags off,
We're still laughing.
we're still laughing. Look at us out here. I'm like, what are we even doing? You know, like we're out here trying to shoot
Having
birds.
fun.
Yeah, we're having fun, and we're still super hopeful
Always.
that if we just wait one more half hour,
Right.
they're going to come over that hill.
They are.
They're coming over that. Enough that sometimes you're like, is that birds or a cloud over there?
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's birds. Like you're super optimistic.
Always.
Even though you're jackhammering, you know?
Yeah.
We ran out of propane like at the worst time, you know? But we're like, the wind's howling. We're like, oh, thank God we got this blind, you know, to cover some of the wind. And it was true. It did cut a lot of the wind. Thank God for the tangle free. But man,
Yeah.
It was cold. That's for sure.
it was cold, wasn't it, Jim?
It was cold.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, it's the anticipation and waiting and the excitement.
Yeah.
the whole thing.
And being
That's
in
all.
a different area for you guys, like what did you think of the area here? Like the terrain and things like that. Like it's got to be very different from where you're from.
Well, from where I'm from, it's very different, right? But I get the chance to go to northern New England, Vermont, and Maine, and those areas,
Right.
on occasion. So,
Yep.
I'm somewhat familiar. But the number of farms up here and the amount of land is unbelievable. That's what I said to Jim after we got here and we drove around. I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. The amount of farms and the opportunities that you have here are remarkable. But at some point, it used to be like that where I lived,
Right.
right? So I hope you don't lose it in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's easy to take everything for granted.
Well, and this is kind of what I'm getting at with access. I think the mentality here is that it's just always going to be there.
Yeah.
And if you only go a couple times a year or, you don't really care, maybe you get out once or twice.
Right.
Like, it's not a big deal if somebody's like, no, we don't allow hunting anymore. Oh, okay. But that's a trend.
But that's where it starts.
That's
It
where it
starts with
starts.
not being able to get permission because somebody ruined it for you.
Yeah, it plants a seed. And for me, it's tough because you want to say, like, come on, guys, you know that you got to pick stuff up. You got to leave it better than you found it. You got to go check for your wads. Like, you really
Right.
got to treat this like your front yard.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
if
if
you make
somebody,
a rut, go back and fix it.
yeah, like if somebody said, hey, do you mind if I spend some time in your backyard? Well, when they left, even if you gave them permission, you might go out there and check around and say, oh, geez, look at that. They friggin' left a couple cans out there, or a couple wrappers, or some plastic bags, or shells, or a piece of metal, or something,
And it has to do with your upbringing, too, right? I mean, like when I was a kid and my dad introduced me to hunting, you would go to Vermont deer hunting, and when you go up with some friends, and we'd split firewood for the time we were going to be there hunting, and we fixed whatever needed to be fixed on the cabin, and we go down and help the farmer do whatever work they needed to do so we could hunt on their land. And you always picked up after yourself. You never left anything.
Right.
You always tried to leave it better than you got there, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure that's the way that people are being raised anymore.
Yeah.
I would hope they are. I know they are in my family, but
More of a
as a
sense,
society as a whole, I'm not sure of that.
more of a sense of entitlement at
Yes.
times.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and you can see it because it like it's not about, well, he's going to plow that, it won't be a big deal. Well,
It is.
he's going to have to drive over that first before he plows it, right?
Right.
The tractor's going to have to go over that if you leave ruts there. So, or you tear the road up or things like that.
As my dad used to say, don't ever show up empty-handed.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I do. Like I says, limited areas for training with the dogs. There's a lot of times they need help on the farm doing some of the things. One of the farms that I train on, they have a dairy cattle. And come this time of the year when they're cutting the corn for silage, they need hands. Dozens of people needed to go cover the big silage piles with plastic for the winter. On top of that silage pile is hundreds of tires to hold that plastic down. Somebody's got to put those tires in place. So they get a hold of everybody, and maybe the rain's coming in. They got to get it done before the rain comes. So guess who gets the phone call? I do. I go down there, I give them a hand, put on the old clothes and go.
and I bet they
Yeah.
just absolutely appreciate
Yeah,
that more than you know.
Exactly. Or a tree falls in the woods, lands on the fence. The cows start getting out. Jim gets a phone call. Time to go down, cut up the tree, get it off their fence. They're in the barn milking the cows. They need a hand. So
Yeah, and that's just
people shouldn't be afraid to go help out on those farmers. Just doing little chores that the farmer doesn't have the time to do.
At least offer.
well, and just use your common sense a little bit.
Right.
Like if it's
Yeah.
wet and you're gonna be all over that road tearing it up,
Don't do it.
like just don't do it. Don't drive in there and tear the shit out of it, and then back into the field and make great big ruts. Like just don't go in there.
Right.
Treat it like your own. Treat it like your own driveway, your own yard. Things would be different because if that were to happen to somebody's yard and they came home and were like, holy shit, somebody turned around in my front yard and left 6-inch deep ruts and then messed my driveway up,
Right.
people would be mega pissed. Right?
It happened to me just before I left.
Really?
Oh, I was mega pissed. Yeah.
I bet you were.
Yeah. And I had to track down the culprit, and I did. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not being considerate. It's just not the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So yesterday we ended up shooting into a bunch of geese,
We did.
and we ended up getting a pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Jim, I guess, did. The time we didn't know it was a pterodactyl. I didn't. So if you did, thanks for saving my life. Okay.
I don't know, when it hit the ground, I think the Richter scale had an 8 reading.
It was definitely, I could tell it was definitely a big bird in the flock. It was the lead bird coming in.
Yeah.
But once Matt held that bird up and went, oh my God, look at the size of this thing.
Looked like a swan.
Well, when Ruby was out there, it was kicking, and she tried to pick it up. Normally, like, she's picked up a bunch of geese this year, and she was kind of messing around with it. And I'm like, geez, last time she picked up geese, and they were flapping around a little bit, and she just went out and grabbed them, did a pretty good job, and brought them back. And I'm like, come on, Ruby, like, get going. It's starting, right on the verge of starting to get frustrated. And then when she brought it over and I looked at its neck, I'm like, holy cow, that thing is a friggin' monster. Picked it up, and it's like, this is a big goose. And honestly, to this day, that is the biggest Canada goose that I have ever personally witnessed being shot and had my hands on.
Yep.
A 15-pound goose.
That's a big goose.
I don't care where you are. Like I say, that contest on the Refuge forums, for anybody that used to be on there, went on for years. It's called the 20-pound goose contest. Send me in a 20-pound goose, and he had this prize package, Dave Smith decoys, bunch of stuff. Went on for years, and then he just started to drop the weight. 19, 18, 17, 16, till he got to 15, and it went like that for a while, and then finally somebody sent him in a 15-pound goose. So everybody that's, talking about, oh, it's not rare to shoot a 20-pound goose, hey.
It is over here.
Yeah, certainly is for us, and we've shot some big ones and a lot of them.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That's the biggest goose I think I've ever seen. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It looked like a swan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like a swan with the Canada goose colors.
Yeah. Good trip overall, boys.
Excellent
Absolutely.
trip.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was a highlight for you, Jim, if you could pick something?
I liked hunting in the snowstorm.
Me too.
Yeah, it was awesome. It really was. It was a little windy, but not that windy. But just the peacefulness of it, and then
The birds.
yeah, I mean
Birds
there
working.
was definitely a lot of birds. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Even after we finished up, it was just they just kept on coming and coming, and getting the chance to watch the birds. But sharing that experience, with the two of you, it was definitely. We got the chance to drag the equipment in. We had to work for it.
Mm.
We definitely did. It wasn't something that came easy.
No question.
We were rewarded with it, with a nice limit of birds, and but just the overall experience of hunting in the snow, I really liked that.
This is my favorite. Shooting Canada's in the snow.
Well, it's
And
awesome.
in a snowstorm.
It's awesome.
I don't want that to happen the first week of October. But when it does happen,
Just invite us. That's all.
late November or early December, I'm all right. That's seasonably on par, but that was cool. What about you, Steve? Anything stick out to you?
Yeah, piggyback what Jim said with the snowstorm, but for me personally, I guess everybody has expectations, and my expectations were certainly met. And the two of the things I was really looking forward to, other than hunting with both you guys and learning the area and experiencing the area, is the calling that you did. And when that flock of geese kept flying over 7, 8 times, I thought my heart was going to come right out of my chest. I got so excited.
Me too.
That was. I was just super excited and amazed at that. That was awesome. And I know you guys are both professional dog trainers. I am not. I'm what they call a blue collar dog trainer at best, and I get all my instruction mostly from Jim Pickunka, who is I think probably one of the best dog trainers the best dog trainer I've ever met. Nothing personal. I don't really train with you that much.
It's all good. No, you can say that.
He's a great person, handles the dogs like nobody I've ever seen before as far as training them goes, and very patient, and it's been turned into a phenomenal friend for me.
Yeah.
And it's been great, but I love watching the dog. I can that's what I love. One of the greatest things about hunting for me, for waterfowl or upland or anything, is the dog work. Without the dog, it's still fun, but it's nowhere near the excitement and the love that I share for the sport.
Absolutely, and the story I told you before about some of the groups coming from Southwest Nova, like when a flock of birds comes, you don't mess around. Like you jump back in the blind, and I know for a lot of those guys coming here, when we're standing out there running the dog, they're like, "Do you not see these birds coming?" And it's like, boys, there's 1,000 of them on that river. I want you to enjoy this. I want you to experience this and enjoy it. And there has not been one person yet that has not sat down and said after, "I'm so glad that we took the time to watch the dog work, because it's absolutely amazing to see them do their thing." It's like the best part.
Oh, I think so.
Absolutely is. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, and I don't think the average person knows how much time goes into that to get the dogs at that level.
Well, it's the best thing if the dog is trained
Correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If the dog, if you have a good dog and you've put the work in and it's obedient and it's in addition to the hunt, like Robert Milner that used to own Duck Hill Kennels, I believe he's passed on now, where I got Otter and Riley. He said in his book, a dog that picks up no ducks but waits in the blind quietly and calmly is a much better dog than a dog that picks up all the ducks but is disobedient and has an owner that screams commands at it all day while the dog doesn't listen and runs amok, and I totally agree
Yep.
with that.
Absolutely.
I had a quick story. I had a dog out west one time that a client brought to hunt with us. Another client dog story. It wasn't my client, but just one of the boys that was hunting with me out there while I was guiding brought a dog. It was a Boykin Spaniel. His name was Abe. Best dog I ever had through. Abe sat on his owner's feet. We shot our limit of geese. Abe never left the blind. He was quiet as a mouse. You wouldn't even have known he was there. Best dog I ever guided with that wasn't mine. Yeah,
That's awesome.
in comparison to some other ones for sure.
Obedient, quiet dog.
Yeah, old honest Abe. Yeah, he just sat there and never said a word. Never left the blind. Never retrieved a bird.
Kept the owner's toes warm.
Yeah, exactly. He did his job.
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
That's a good story.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Sounds like a comfort dog.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Hey.
Oh, I know dogs, comfort dogs.
Yeah, he was great.
They are in my life.
That's true. Yeah. And as a dog trainer, and coming from an area where we don't have the amount of birds that you have here, I do want to say that I was actually very impressed watching you today, or in the last 3 days, work the dog in a nice, patient, methodical manner. And picking up each one of the birds one at a time and using the dog correctly, which I hope I know how to do it correctly. But one bird at a time, bringing the dog in the heel, having the dog making sure it completes the retrieve, lined up, send for the next bird, and taking the time to do so and not rushing through all of that. Exactly like the guys that you said from Nova Scotia, when there's birds coming, you got to get in place because you're not going to have that many birds coming in. So you need to be ready anytime that opportunity presents itself. Here, you're actually quite fortunate to be able to have the numbers of birds that you have.
No question.
And take your time, be patient, work the dog the way it's supposed to be worked. And, so it was nice to see that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad you can appreciate that, and that means a lot to me. That coming from you and Steve, like people that know dogs and work dogs, like for me, that's my time. Right?
Yeah.
Like once they're down on the ground, like I sit there and don't shoot all season.
Yeah.
Like once I get to unhook my dog and we step out in front of that blind, I'm like, here we go. It's the same speed as I would do if we were running marks in the summertime. I'm like, you know, the excitement level is up. My dog is amped up. And I try to be the opposite of that. And I just really love that time from where they hit the ground, where everybody hoops and hollers and high fives, and you're like, guns up, you get your dog out, and it's like, okay, here's the next part of the show, right?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Watch this.
Yeah.
And how many times have I heard, now that guys are catching on, oh, watch this, he's going to send it for that wounded one out there.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah.
That one that's running, watch this.
And that's where the greatest asset of using a dog is.
Right.
Because
Right.
they
Without
can chase
question.
those birds down across the field.
100%. You got a bird 150 yards out there. Like that blind that Memphis did. You're like, you're going to send Memphis on that blind? And I said, I don't think so. It's towards the road. And then as we walked up, I said, yeah, Jim, that would be a great blind. The bird looks like it's going to stay there. I can get parallel with the road.
Right.
Let's do it. And I mean,
She did a great job.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, for our dogs, that's a pretty straight up, straightforward blind. But I'm like, first of all, that's why we train.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, second of all, everybody here knows actually how much work goes into that.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it posted right there on the fridge, and it's 3/4 of that page or more. 3/4 of that page to get you there, that program.
Right.
To get you to be able to do what that dog.
Months and months of training. Dedicated training.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that
Not just the blind retrieves, but being able to have a wounded bird in the field. And that bird's probably going to get away. If you've got a walker, hopefully don't run across the field, you may not catch that bird where a dog can catch that bird.
Every time, yeah.
You know, and I saw some of that this past few days. Yeah. And she did a phenomenal job at it. She really did.
Yeah, she's a killer.
You know, the training that you put into it, the dog's dedicated enough to it that it knows to take down a big wounded goose.
Yeah.
And
They figure it out.
and they deal with it. Exactly.
and they love it.
And they love it. Like,
They love it.
That for that part of things, I mean, the dog is an asset to us to help retrieve our game.
Right.
You know, every bird that gets knocked down is a bird we're going to go get. And you
Right.
don't always hit them in the head. And
No.
sometimes they go down, crash and burn, and they're out there ways, and we got to send our dog to get them. And you're absolutely right. They're not going to get away from that dog. And after a while, like where these dogs are at, like a real poison bird where you've got a bunch of dead ones laying there and then the one out in the field, like the dogs start to understand, I'm going to select, even if there's shorter birds that are wounded, the dogs learn to select the long ones.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go get that one first.
Right. Especially if they see the movement in it.
Right.
Like I watched that dog last year. I really wish we would have got it on film. There was two out in the field. I've told this story before, but it's a good one. Okay, there was one out there like 180 yards, one at like 120. Okay. I sent her for the long one. The one that was closer started running towards her line to the long one. And I'm like, this is going to be interesting. It's basically going to run feet from her or right in front of her and cross the line or something. And didn't that goose run right in front of that dog? It was running left to right. It ran right in front of her, and she totally steamrolled that and kept on going. Never even slowed down. Ran over the bird.
Wow.
Cartwheel, like in motion, cartwheeled the bird, kept right on running. Like it wasn't even there. Tackled it like she was a football player, kept right on going. Never even slowed down, never opened her mouth, nothing.
Wow.
Went out and got the other one, and I was like,
That's
holy
amazing.
shit.
Yeah.
Justin Hines was standing there. I'm like, did you see that? He's like, holy shit, I wish I would have filmed that. I'm like, I never, like if she would have picked that bird up, what do you do? It literally
Yeah.
ran in front of her. She had to run it over or run around it.
You couldn't blame her.
You couldn't blame her. You couldn't do anything.
Nope.
But she's just like tractor beam focused on that long one, just completely ran it over and kept right on going. I'm like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I hope that I would never take my dogs for granted. But when I think about all the birds that they've picked up and all those retrieves and stuff, I'm like, I could not imagine doing this without a dog. It would just take
It wouldn't be anywhere near as exciting. No.
No, I mean, I get a gear out of all of it, like calling,
me
like
too.
that
Yep.
that one flock for me.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I might not remember any flocks this year, but I won't forget that one.
Neither will I.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
One of the other things
There was multiple times when those birds looked like they were just heading on out.
Yeah.
You know, they changed their mind. They didn't want to be there, and they were heading on out. And Matt got on that call, and man,
and they turned.
you just turn them right around.
Yeah.
Come right back. Says,
I was shocked myself. I'm like, holy shit, they're coming back again.
Well, Steve wanted to know if I was a great caller.
Yeah. I'm like, they're coming back again. They were over the trees and leaving. And I'm like, holy shit, boys, here they come again.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I'm like, they're going to come in this time.
made me a
They're coming in
believer.
this time.
Made me a believer that a call can, you know, if you know how to call,
Oh, correctly.
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes the best call you can make is no call at all. Like we did have that one bunch that came up from the river today. Said, I'm not going to flag. I'm not going to call. I'm just going to let them do their thing. We're just going to be quiet. And it was a bigger flock, which was good. And we did have some come right in. And I mean, it's hard as a caller to not be like, there's birds. I've obviously got to call at them. I have this talk with my son all the time. I'm like, Rowan, we don't have to call at every flock
Right.
until they're out of sight, you know?
There might be some males in there. They don't like to talk.
I really, you know, I appreciate exactly.
They're just on a mission to eat.
Yeah, man, they don't want to be bothered.
Don't bother me.
Yeah. I appreciate your want to bring them in, and
You can probably gauge that. If they're talking on the way in, then it's
Yeah.
probably a flock of females.
Yes, exactly.
yeah. It
One
makes
of,
it
one of
fun.
the things I wanted to, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Matt.
No,
but,
it's all good.
And we're all experienced hunters, and I know that you're a guide, and I'm hoping that some of your future clients might be listening to this podcast. But one of the things that I was also impressed with, and we all do it because we're all kind of the same people, but both Matt and Jim and myself, the number one rule is safety. And at no time was there any incident where anything was unsafe. Guns were never pointed in the wrong direction. Gun safeties weren't off when they weren't supposed to be off.
Right.
Guns were loaded, and when the safety was on, we let each other know what status the gun was in, and nobody made unethical shots or put anybody else in danger. And I think as a group here, we've done enough hunting that we probably take that for granted, but people that haven't, that's the number one rule, right? Safety is number one.
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit today. I'm like, everything happens so fast with waterfowl hunting. You know, you take 15 birds, squared up, coming straight at the blind. You call a shot, the guys stand up, fire one shot, those birds just scatter.
Right.
Left to right, whichever way. And, you know, you get on a bird, you're super focused, you follow it, all of a sudden you're out of your zone, you're still following it down the blind, you know, you clink somebody else's barrel or shoot over your buddy's head, or, you know, there's all kinds of things that could happen in an instant like that. And what I always say to guys is, look, at the end of the day, it's just a bird.
Right.
Something you're going to have to clean. Is it valuable? Yes. I'm not trying to say that the bird isn't valuable and the meat isn't valuable, things like that. But what it's not worth is risking somebody's safety over. It's
Or
just
the dogs.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bird.
Right.
It's just a bird.
I mean, and I think we've all had enough experience that we kind of took it for granted that, but I noticed the way everybody acted, and you know, I know that you're a professional guide, and so is, you know, Jim's a professional, and from my career, that's what I did.
Right.
Taught firearm safety, and I'm very keen to it. But everybody here was on board. And
Yeah,
it makes it much more enjoyable.
No question. And for myself, like, I can tell, even though I know you guys, like, we don't hunt together all the time.
Nope.
And it doesn't mean that you're going to be safe.
Nope.
But I'm always watching what's going on, right? And it makes it way easier for me if I'm not like standing on my toes all the time going, okay, I got to make sure that everybody's like, they're shooting birds. I'm looking down the blind, making sure that people don't swing or shoot, or, you know, if I have to speak up, I will, right?
Right.
Got to be careful.
Right.
Right.
So,
And that's why getting back to the dogs again, making sure that you've got a well-trained dog. Because if that dog jumps out there,
Yeah.
gets out where the birds are while these people are still shooting and stuff, might be a little bird that cuts right across in front of the blind. And if the dog happens to be out there,
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've
People
seen a
get tunnel
couple.
vision; they don't see the dog.
Well, right. And a lot of times don't see birds in the decoys, right?
Nope.
right.
Nope.
You know, you call a shot. It happened today. You call the shot. You come up to shoot. There's birds circling. That's what you see. Your arms that are holding your gun block what's below you. You can't see. There could be a dog there. You don't know,
No.
right?
Right.
So we
You
have
are
to be.
shooting over a blind,
Yeah,
sides of a blind, so that could be blocking your vision along with it.
yeah. We just always have to be conscious of that, and just good communication. And with my groups, normally I didn't with you guys, but we always do a big safety talk
Right.
before about where you're supposed to shoot and your safety being on, and all of those things. Staying in your lane, not shooting things off the ground, like all the things that you need to remind people of because it's going to be chaotic, right?
Right.
So,
And important. Never want to shoot somebody's dog. I tell you that.
well, and I mean, my dogs are steady. Like half the time Memphis wasn't tied today. Didn't worry about it. But there's no reason for anybody's dog to be out in the decoys. You just tie the dog. If your dog isn't steady, or if your dog is steady, there's no shame in that, right? You
No.
put a stake out beside their blind and you hook them in, and then you don't have to worry about them being out there, especially because even the steadiest dog might be 6 flocks in. Dog's been steady, hasn't moved, hasn't made a peep. All of a sudden is 20 yards out in front of you,
Right.
and people don't see it, right? So, myself, it's always been a thing. I hate to see it on TV and people's YouTube and stuff, the dog's breaking. I'm like, there's just no point. There's no sense. Like, it shouldn't happen, ever.
Right.
It should never happen. And the reason that we want them to be steady is so they can mark, right?
Right.
It's no faster. If your dog runs out and picks up the last bird that hits the ground, it didn't see the other 3 or 4, right? So,
Yeah.
anyway.
And it's safe.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen enough close calls now that there's no need of it. We're at about an hour and 30 minutes, boys, believe it or not.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You have any closing thoughts? Anything you'd like to say?
I sure hope I get the chance to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you do.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, for me too.
And I hope somebody picks some good, valuable information up from this podcast.
Yeah.
They will.
And I hope somebody calls you, book a hunt.
Me too.
Because it's a hunt of a lifetime.
Yeah, thank you.
That I can guarantee you.
Yeah, we put a lot of time and effort in. It's not just a passion for me. It's a way of life. I want everybody to do well.
It shows in everything that you do.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
absolutely.
boys.
Very professional.
Great hunting with you,
Great hunting with you guys.
and we will do this again. And it should be a yearly basis, right? Let's
Sure.
not make this every
Yep.
other year. Let's do this every year. We'll see each other in spring and fall. Normally, when I see you guys, it's way warmer. I said that the other day. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know what the. I don't
That's
know
because
what.
you're going south.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. I'm like, when I see you guys, I'm never
You're
dressed
in
like
shorts.
this.
Don't
Yeah.
don't bring this weather south when you come down for training.
Yeah, shit.
And we'll try and bring you snow again next year.
Yeah, hey, yeah, we'll take it. Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great hunting with you, boys.
Thank you, Matt.
Until next time.